everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. I'm here today to share with you a new design team project for Ciao Bella. Today I am using the Muse collection, which is this one is absolutely beautiful, and I was really inspired with all the amazing graphics on the collection to create a journaling bento box. So basically is this box, and inside you will have all that you need to journal. So let me give you a look at the box. Here I added this beautiful image from the collection, and then I embellished just the sides using a little bit of trim and pearls, and this is how it looks. The box measures 9 by 12 and it has a 3-inch spine, and as you can see here, I added a doorknob as my closure. So on the inside of the box, there is a beautiful journal, a little snippet roll, some lace, and some different ephemera pieces to add into your journal. So this is a little snippet roll. I have seen so many of these, and basically I use all of my scrap pieces from making the journal, and I just added them all. I joined them all together using some glue. Also, I stitch all the edges. Then there's also some beautiful laces that I had here on my stash, and I wanted to create some different elements to put in my box so we have everything in hand when we are ready to journal. On this side here, I have all kinds of different ephemera pieces that I cut from the collection. There is little circle tags, as you can see, as well as small little tags, and some little journaling pieces. And this collection just had so many beautiful pieces about journaling. Look how gorgeous. And then some these larger areas as well, so you can dress up your journal as you start playing on it. Also, I have some different writing paper, and this came from a vintage writing book, so it talks about poetry and it gives you guidelines to write some poetry and metaphor. And also I am adding in here some little vintage envelopes that I had, and these are all little things that we use as we fill our journals. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the journal. So I'm going to take this out and let's take a closer look. The cover, and I also have some lace going on the spine, and I have 4 signatures on this journal because I wanted the pages to be really evenly distributed in there. And I also have some metal corner pieces. The inside is pretty simple. It's just basically the signature covers using the beautiful design paper, and then some tea stain paper that we are going to fill and decorate using all the elements on our bento box. So I hope that you guys like my project, and now let's go ahead and make this together. So to make the box, I am going to start with 2 pieces of 12 by 9 inches. These are chipboard pieces, and we are going to need 1 of 12 by 3. We're gonna wrap this together as if we were making a mini album cover. To wrap the chipboard, I am going to use lightweight cardstock. We're gonna put together 2 pieces of 12 by 12, and then we're gonna use 2 pieces of 12 by 6 and just join all those 4 pieces together so we have a large enough surface to wrap everything around. So now we're going to cut a piece of 6 inches by 11 3/4, and we're going to glue this on the center here on the spine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add some glue, and we're gonna place that right here like so. And then we're gonna make sure this is dry really good. And we have no air bubbles in there. And then we're going to mark on the bending lines and just do a score line right here. And we're just gonna mark that right there. And we're gonna do the same on the other bending line. And you will feel that with your score tool, you're gonna feel that little gap. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and bend one side and the other side. So for the inside of the box, we're going to need 2 pieces of 11 3/4 by 4 inches, and we are going to score these pieces at 1 inch. Both of these pieces, and then I'm going to need 2 pieces of 9 3/4 by 4 inches, and I'm going to score this at 1, and then we're going to turn this around and score at 1/2 inch on each side. And we're going to do the same with this second piece. We are going to score at 1, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on each side here like this. And then we are going to take out the corner pieces on these sides. Okay, so we're gonna cut it like this, both sides, just like that. And we're gonna do the same to this other piece right here. I'm cutting a little notch out. Okay, and then we're gonna join these together. So I'm going to fold along the score lines. I'm gonna fold right there, and we're gonna fold these sides as well, and this other side as well. And we are going to join these together. So I'm going to fold the long pieces along the score line again, and we are going to glue this in. You want to make sure to glue the notch on the inside of the box, of the long side. Okay, and so I'm going to add my glue here, and I say on the inside because we're going to add reinforcement on these. Okay, so we're gonna do the inside, and we're just gonna hold it right there. So I'm just gonna lay this flat, and there you go. So then I'm gonna wait for this to dry. Okay, and then we are gonna do the other short side. Again, we're gonna fold along the score lines on these 2 sides as well, and then we're gonna glue this piece right there like that. So I'm going to add the glue on this little 1/2 inch flap, and we're just going to join this in here. Okay, and then we're finally going to connect the two with this piece. So we're going to glue both of these pieces on that long piece. So I'm going to start with this side. Just add some glue, and we're just going to make sure that this holds together. And then we're gonna do the other side right here with this. Okay, and again, we're gonna make sure these hold together. You want to join the corners just like that. So now I'm going to use 2 pieces of 11 and 3/4 by 3 inches, and we're just gonna glue the whole piece on this side to reinforce the little flap connector, and also to make this a little bit more sturdy. I am using only 12-pound cardstock because that is the one that I have, that is 12 by 12. So that's why we need to reinforce this. Okay, so we're just gonna glue this down and make this really strong, and then we're gonna do this on this side. Okay, and there you go. Now I'm just gonna add this one on the other side. So now we're gonna bring our base back, and we are going to glue this piece down here, and you want to make sure to stay away from that bending line. So you want to go right next to it. So I'm gonna turn this to the other side, and I'm just gonna add my glue on all these 1-inch pieces. And make sure you glue those two together as well. Just like that, a little bit glue under there. And there you go. Some glue under here too. And there you go. Now we're just gonna turn this to the other side and place this down right there. And line it up with the corner a little bit. And there you go. So now that you have it placed, we can go ahead and press down just like that. Okay, and then always double check that your box closes, and I think that looks good. So now I'm going to open this up again, and we're going to cover the center as well. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of 11.5 by 8.5, and we're going to glue 1 on each side. So I'm going to start with this one. Make sure that you add glue on the outside edge like this, because this is going to hold your box together as well. And then just some on the center, just like that. And then we're gonna place this down, and there you go. And I'm gonna do the same with this other piece. So now we're gonna use a piece of 9 3/4 by 4 inches. We are going to score at 1 inch along 4 inches, and then we're going to do 1/2 inch on each side. And again, we're gonna take out the corners just like this. And we're also going to do a piece of 7 by 4 inches, and we're going to do 1/2 inch on each side and 1 inch along the 4 inches here. And again, we're gonna take out the little corners. We are going to fold these pieces along the score lines. So I'm just gonna fold along the score lines on this smaller size, and we can place this one first. That way we know exactly where to put this piece. So I'm going to add some glue on the bottom and some glue on one side, and we're just going to place this one down and to the side like this. Okay, and oops, there you go. And now we can place the other one right against it. So first we're going to do glue on the bottom and glue on this section, and let's put this one first, just like that. Make sure we glue this first, and now we can glue the 2 sides. So I'm just gonna add my glue right there. Okay, just like this. I'm gonna hold that for a minute, and then we're gonna do this side here. I'm just gonna add my glue, and now I'm just gonna hold this down here for a minute, and there you go. So now we have our box ready, and ta-da! So now we're gonna add some ribbon to make sure that this box stays closed. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this ribbon right here. And now we can go ahead and decorate our box. So now we're gonna make the journal part of the set, and for that I'm going to use a box. You can use any box that you have. I'm gonna use a cereal box. You can probably also use cracker boxes or anything that you have. Just make sure that your spine is smaller than 3 inches. So this one right here is about 2 inches, and I think that's a good size for the journal. And I'm also going to be using some tea dye paper or coffee dye paper, whichever you have. And if you don't have any of these, you can definitely just use regular printer paper or any book pages or anything that you want to add into your journal. So I'm going to put this aside for now, and we are going to cut the box. So I'm going to first open this up and to make the box flat. I'm just gonna lay these flat like that. So now I'm just going to cut just a little bit off the top here so we can get one flat edge. So let's go ahead and cut that right there. And then from here down, I am going to count about 8.5 inches. So that's how tall your journal is going to be. So I'm going to cut these right here at 8.5. And then for the sides, one of the sides on your box is going to open up. So let's go ahead and open that up. And then I'm going to go from the bending line to, there you go. So we're gonna line up the bending line at 5.5 inches right there. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to line up the other bending line at 5.5 inches. And then I'm gonna cut right there. So next I'm going to cover the spine of the box using some white cardstock or any light color. That way when we add our lace on the center here, the box doesn't show up too much. So I'm just gonna glue that down, and then also make sure to glue the sides really good. So then I'm going to fold on the other side this little piece. We are going to glue these on the inside of the journal. So then you're gonna go ahead and find your bending line again and just give it a good press, and then we're gonna find the bending line on the other side here. And now I'm just gonna fold these all the way down again to find my spine. Okay, so now we have our box like this again, and now I'm going to cut 2 pieces of paper. I cut my design paper at 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm just going to glue. And that's that piece. Now before I add the inside covers, I am going to be using some lace to keep this journal closed. So I am going to be using a white lace, and this is going to wrap around the journal, but you can definitely use a smaller one if you like. I'm only going to be adding the lace on the back cover because I only want one side, and it's just gonna wrap around the journal. But if you like, you can add one on each side, and then you can tie it on the center. So I'm just gonna put that one there, and this is a really long lace, and I'm just going to cut it in a little bit. And now I'm going to add my inside covers. These pieces are cut a little bit smaller. These are going to be 8.5 by 5.25 because you don't want this page to touch your bending line. That's why it's just a bit smaller in there. So now I'm just going to ink all around the sides of the journal. So now I'm going to use this piece here from the A4 collection to add that image onto my cover. So I'm going to cut this one out. So there's that piece. I'm also going to ink around this, and then I'm going to back this up with some chipboard to give this piece a little bit of volume. I'm also going to cut this piece right here that says notes. So now that I have this piece, I'm going to place this over here, and I'm going to make this bubble up a little bit to give it some dimension. So I am just gonna hold that right there, and I am going to poke a little hole where I want this to be. Just about there, and I think right there. So now that I have the hole, I'm going to add just a little bit of glue around it, and I am going to place this and add my little brat right there, and then we're gonna go on the back and close this up. Then I'm going to make this bubble up a little bit and make sure that you have it right where you want it, right there. And I'm going to make the hole for this side right there. And again, I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and I'm going to put my brat right here as well, just like that. And we're gonna close this on the back So now we have the little notes, and it has a little bit of dimension, as you can see. And now we're ready to glue this down here on the center. So there you go. We're just gonna add that right there. And then what I want to do for the corners is add some metal pieces, and I'm going to do 2 on the front. So first I'm going to add some glue right there, and then we're gonna add the middle piece, and we're gonna close this on the back. So I'm just gonna press that down, and I'm going to close it on both sides. And there you go. So now we have the corners in place. Now I'm going to trim this lace. I'm going to go around my journal 2 times, just like that, and then I'm going to go under, and I'm keeping it loose because I haven't added the pages yet, but I want this to look like that and just to hang a little bit. So I think this will be a good place to trim it. So then I'm going to add this other lace here on the sides of the front. I'm just gonna do this, and let's see, I think this is the good side. I'm just gonna place that right there, and I'm gonna wrap around it and glue this side just like that. And then I'm going to use my extra lace that I trimmed from here, and I'm going to continue wrapping around the spine. So I'm gonna put more glue on top, more glue here, and I'm just gonna place that on top. For the inside pages, we are going to cut 4 pieces of our design paper at 8.5 by 11, and we are going to ink all the sides. Then we're gonna fold each one of these pieces in half, and these are going to be our signature pages. Then we're also going to fold 3 of our other paper on half, and these are going to be the inside pages for the signatures. So I'm just going to put 3 together and fold it, and we're gonna add that inside our first page, and we're just gonna continue doing that for each one of them. So then I'm just going to decorate some of the pages using the elements from the collection. To add my signatures, I'm going to make a line 1 inch from the top, and 1 inch from the bottom. And along that line, I'm going to create 4 little marks where my signatures are going to go. And then I'm going to do a projection of those on the center and closer to the bottom as well. And then I'm going to pencil mark 1 inch away from the bottom on all 4 lines. And I'm also going to mark on the center, which is going to be 4 1/4. I want to make sure that I have a mark right there. And there you go. So now I have my grid, and it doesn't have to be exact. It could just try to make them as even as possible. And now I'm just going to poke the holes on my markings. So then you can see the 4 little marks that I've done on the bottom, the center, and the top. And now we're going to kind of do the same in each one. So for your signatures, it's going to be a lot easier. We are just simply going to poke a hole 1 inch from the edges, 1 inch from the edge, and 1 at the center, which is 4 1/4. It really helps if you use a little paper clip so your pages are not moving. So I'm going to make the 3 holes, and these are smaller signatures, and I want to distribute the signatures evenly on the journal, but you can also combine 2, and then that way you only have to stitch 2 signatures into your book. So now I'm going to start adding my signatures into the book. So I'm going to start on the center, and since I already have 3 holes pre-done, it's going to be really simple. So I'm going to do the center, and then I'm going to come out from the spine. I have a lot of layers of lace in here, so let's see. And then you are going to see the holes. So I'm going to go now in from the top. You're going to see your needle come in, and then just line it up with the one on the top. And it's a little bit hard to see on this angle, but it'll be a lot easier for you. If you're having trouble matching your lines, you can also just do 1 at a time, and then you're just gonna pull. I have a really long string since I'm going to be doing 4 signatures. Then we're going to come out from the bottom and through the spine, and then we're just gonna pull this one out as well. Okay. Make sure all of it comes in. Okay, and then we are going to go back in from the center. Just right on the same spot. So this one is going to be a little bit tricky. You want to make sure you go right next to the strand, but don't go through it. And there you go. So now we're just gonna pull this one out, and now we're just gonna tie it here on the center, and there you go. So now we have the first signature in, and we're gonna do the same for the other ones as well. To make the snipper roll, I'm just gluing together all the leftover pieces that I had from cutting down my signature pages. They're all the same size, so it works out really good. After I glue the pieces together, I went ahead and stitch on each join as well, but that is an optional step. And now I'm going to be using an empty roll of tissue, and I'm just going to glue the first edge and just roll in all of my paper. And I think this is a great way to use your scrap pieces of paper, and then this is going to be perfect for when you start using your journal. So then I'm adding into my box different items that you can use to add to your journal, like envelopes, ephemera pieces, laces, trims, and some extra paper as well. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.